Welcome back into my office. Brian here with you. Let's examine now this Monumental Birds of New England book from the mid-19th century. The book itself has been rebacked expertly long ago. You'll notice that the original leather spine is all laid down with new leather joints inserted under the foredge here of the covers and underneath the spine itself, but it's done in such a way that it's easy to just overlook it or miss it. It's a very good example of quality binding work. The end papers are marbled. There's an early engraved custom armorial style bookplate. The hinges have been reinforced by the binder, who has put their tag right there. And let us now get into the content so you can see for yourself. What distinguishes this work is this nice assortment of color lithographed plates by Bufford. And we see here, it is Boston, 1868, by Edward Samuels. It's a well-known book. Many species of birds. There's a profusion of these color plates, which you will see many of. Here is a detailed list of the contents, like so. Ornithology. And you'll notice the text block remains very clean. The plates, like so, have tissue guards. That's a nice owl there. And let's just keep browsing. We'll see. Okay. All right. There's an osprey. The thing is that the edges here of the text block are deckled, so it's easy to flip right by some of the plates, right? But here is another one, like so. A whippoorwill, and that is basically how the book is all throughout. Just this profusion of plates. There'll be an exact count. The book is complete in our description. And right there, a yellow throat. And yeah, there's a plate of some eggs. Here's a green warbler, a black-throated green warbler. And there is a black-throated blue warbler. Here's a list of some, or here's a diagram showing different types of eggs. Bird eggs, and there really are a lot of color plates in this work. This is a monumental plate book of the mid-19th century. Each one of these plates, it's worth noting, would have been printed separately on a heavy paper and then inserted only later by the binder. So these plates are printed outside of the text, and they had to be collated into the text to the corresponding spot by the bookbinder when the book was issued or published. And if you stop and think for a minute about the amount of labor involved in an endeavor like that, it really is fairly impressive. A book like this, it could represent an enormous amount of time. The book like this would have been expensive in its day. This was not the sort of book that an average person would have purchased. It was expensive then. It's expensive today. It's often the way it is with many nice, heavily illustrated color plate books of the past. Is color has always been expensive in a book. Even today, it's color printing is far more than black and white. And so when you have this many separately printed color plates, it probably would have been also potentially sold by subscription. In fact, that's how Audubon financed his bird book, and in fact, it's the reason why there's year gaps, multi-year gaps and so on in the issue history of books like this, is they run out of money or sponsorship to continue the publishing endeavor. And so I think you have a good idea now of how the work survives, and if it interests you, it is available now online from me, Brian DiMambro.